Hi. Let's say a time machine gets invented, and you can now travel to all the important periods in our history, from seeing the dinosaurs to seeing the Mona Lisa being painted. But what would it take you to be considered rich in those times? Before we get started with the video, don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps the channel grow. Now, let's jump into the video. We will start chronologically from the prehistoric times to the late 1800s. Beyond that, what it takes to be rich is very similar to what it takes in the present. In prehistoric times, when people lived in caves, being rich wasn't about money or owning things, but more about having resources and influence. A rich person would likely have plenty of food from hunting or gathering, and maybe even a safe, well located shelter near water and food sources. They'd have good tools and weapons, which were essential for survival, and they'd probably be strong, healthy, and skilled at things like making fire or crafting. Social influence was also a big deal. Being someone others respected, listened to, or relied on in group activities like hunting made a person valuable. Having rare or meaningful items like special shells or pigments for decoration could also show wealth, as could being part of a big, strong group or family. Next stop, ancient times, like ancient Rome and Greece. In ancient times, being considered rich wasn't just about piles of coins, it was about owning land, slaves, and luxurious goods. A wealthy individual likely controlled vast estates, producing food, wine, or olive oil, and had a household full of servants to handle daily life. Riches were also measured in power and influence. The ability to host grand feasts, sponsor public games, or fund civic projects like temples or aqueducts was a sure sign of status. Connections to politics and the social elite added another layer to wealth, showing that being rich was as much about prestige as possessions. Next up, in the Middle Ages, being considered rich meant owning land and having the power that came with it. A wealthy man, likely a noble or a knight, would control vast estates where peasants worked the land in exchange for protection. Castles, or manor houses, were the ultimate symbols of wealth, serving as both homes and fortresses. Riches were also tied to titles and loyalty to the king or church, with wealthier men often gaining influence through their military service or generous donations to religious institutions. Fine clothes, horses, and a table filled with exotic foods like spices and wine were telltale signs of a prosperous life. Let's look now at what it took to be rich when the Industrial Revolution happened. In the 1700s and 1800s, being a rich man often meant being part of the rapidly expanding industrial or landed elite. Wealth was increasingly tied to industry, trade, and investments, especially as the Industrial Revolution transformed economies. Factory owners, merchants, and financiers accumulated fortunes through commerce and innovation, while traditional aristocrats still relied on vast estates and tenant farming. A rich man in this era might live in a grand country house or a lavish townhouse surrounded by fine art, tailored clothing, and imported luxuries like tea, sugar, and spices. Influence shifted toward economic power, with wealthy individuals shaping society by funding scientific discoveries, philanthropy, or political reforms, while flaunting their status at elegant balls and exclusive clubs. So overall, what it meant to be rich has evolved dramatically throughout history. But that was the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.